wouldn't be a week in the boxing world if we didn't get an update on the Tank Davis Ryan Garcia fight, which is penciled in for April 15th. The latest is that it was in grave danger, says Chris Maddox. Mike Coppinger reported that a rematch clause is the latest snag in this fight. And when I say Mike Coppinger reported, I mean Oscar De La Hoya called up Mike Coppinger and said, guess what happened? We're haggling over the rematch clause. Now, Chris, I want to ask you this. You've been part of these negotiations, big fights. You fought Manny Pacquiao, you fought Errol Spence, you fought Amir Khan.
Also, I negotiated a lot of those myself, by the way.
So when there's a fight of this magnitude, and it's clear that the first fight is going to air on Showtime. Gervonta Davis is the A side. It's going to be on Showtime. It's going to be a PBC production and all that jazz. There is no rematch clause for if Ryan Garcia wins. There's only a rematch clause if Tank loses. So Tank, let's just say Tank loses.
You said there's no rematch clause if Ryan wins, and there is if Tank loses. That's the same thing.
Sorry. If Tank Davis loses, he can initiate a rematch clause.
Okay.
If Ryan loses, right? Ryan Garcia loses. There's no rematch clause. Thank you for correcting me. Okay.
Yeah.
So the first fight's going to be on Showtime, PBC vehicle. We know that, or that's what's been negotiated, and that's fine. The rematch clause is what they're haggling over. Oscar's side and Golden Boy's side says if Ryan Garcia wins, we should have rights to the rematch. It should be on DAZN. We should be the A side, and Showtime and PBC side saying no, not so fast. Like, why? No, we can't do that. I don't know. I feel like that makes sense. I feel like if Ryan Garcia wins, he's now like one of the biggest stars in boxing. I know it doesn't add up maybe to the money side of things. I think Tank still would be a big seller, but that's pretty standard, I feel like, in boxing negotiations.
All right. So 2 things to think about here. So Ryan wins, winner stays. Ryan wins, ball goes into their court. They should have the rights to where the fight is aired.
Ryan's side, right?
And right, the winner, regardless whether it's
sense.
Ryan or So that's A. Is that winner stays? Whoever wins, if there's a rematch, winner gets the rights. And so if Ryan gets the win, it's up to Golden Boy and their side to decide where the fight is going to be. Mm-hmm. Second of all, especially if Ryan wins, he's the digital content king in this situation. Remove it from network television. Remove it from Showtime. Remove it from those cable networks. Bring it to digital. It's going to make more money.
Bring it to where?
To the streaming side.
To the DAZN,
yeah,
which will have invested millions of dollars in Ryan Garcia.
Correct. So there's a big upside on Ryan winning the fight and then having the rematch in their court where they can bring it over to DAZN. So that is a legitimate sticking point, I would say. I would also say, so that's B. C, and we've been doing this for months now, talking about this fight. I am very pessimistic about this fight actually happening. I don't know if it's going to be, I don't know if this is the real holdup, because if it wasn't this, it would be something else. It would be the gloves for God knows what reason. Yeah, I just feel like they're just looking for a reason to keep pushing this fight off. Not sure why, not sure who, but I don't know. This seems like a snake-bitten fight. I just have a bad feeling about everything. All the writing on the wall to me doesn't add up to a positive light for this fight finally happening, and we're seeing it. I'm sitting here, every time this thing gets stalled, I'm like, I told you, Dan.
I knew it was wasn't going to be as smooth. Didn't think a rematch clause would be the roadblock, but I do understand. Right. Both sides of it, of course, and not to be the both sides guy, but if Ryan Garcia wins, they have every right to say we should take over the production. Not only even if he didn't win, even if there was like a 2-fight deal or something like that, it's like the second fight would be on DAZN. I mean, that's happened before. And I also understand it from Gervonta Davis's side. It's like, listen, like even if Ryan Garcia wins, Tank is still Tank when it comes to the stuff you could see, like the financials, like the gates and the numbers, and he's the A side always in between these two. So I see it from that side too. For what it's worth, Steven Espinosa went on Chicken Talk, which is a pretty cool Twitter space, and then said he remains optimistic that Gervonta Davis versus Ryan Garcia will happen, despite the rematch clause dispute. We sent the revised contract last week and haven't heard anything. If it's down to one issue, that's phenomenal news. This is a guy that's been part of the biggest fights, Mayweather, Canelo, Mayweather, McGregor. He's been a part of some of the biggest fights in boxing. He knows how to make a mega fight. I think it happens. I've heard some things behind the scenes that all systems are a go for April 15th. A lot of work is being done for this fight to go through on April 15th. I still am optimistic. I still think it happens. This is just one last little thing that they are going to haggle over.
If this fight happens before July, I'll buy you a beer.
Before July? Wow. Man, I hope it does. I understand where you're coming from too, and I also see like people that there are people out there that are hoping that it doesn't happen. I'm not saying that you're one of those people, but there are some that are
I'm not.
Told you so. BBC acted up again. I told you so. And like,
I'd rather be wrong. I'd rather be wrong. I'd rather the sport flourish and me be wrong than the other way around.
I've seen so many people. Oh, look, as I'm saying this, Ryan Garcia just liked one of my tweets. I tweeted out Tank Ryan is happening on April 15th. Everyone simmer down after I got some insider information. Ryan Garcia just liked the tweet in real time. There you go. Boom, right there.
Boom. See that, guys? We're breaking things in real time.
But nothing. The more you have to hear here. So you're gonna owe me a beer.
We'll see. I mean, I want to see. They got to be in the ring. They got to be in the ring before this bet ends.
Yeah. So that is what's going on with Tank and Ryan. If it does happen, you got to expect a formal announcement soon. I mean, if it does April, I mean, we're almost in mid-February, or it's early February. By next week, it's mid-February. A fight that doesn't really need a lot of promotion anyway. Doesn't need a 5-city tour. This fight has been brewing for 3-4 years now. Just give us the official date and the venue, and let's get this thing rolling in the right direction, because it's going to be a very, very busy April.